Hello, hello, hello. It's been a while, but we're back with monster lore and building monsters today. Yes, I'm going to be taking another monster from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and I will be going through the process of making and creating a monster, and you are hopefully going to be part of that process. Make sure you have your polyhedral dice. You will need your polyhedral dice. I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. My suggestion to you is grab some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable. I'm going to get into this and be fairly swift because there's limited time. We need all the time possible to do all of the creation side. So 4 or 5 minutes, I'll cover the lore of the monster that we're dealing with today, and then we'll go straight into the monster creation aspect. So I hope you are ready. I am pretty much ready, and I'm almost ready to go. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about monster lore for tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons. The Headless Mule. Oh my gosh, what is this thing? Well, as it happens, this monster is from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica. It is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e compatible monster. It does have a stat block, but I am covering the lore for today. So what is the lore around the Headless Mule? A headless mule is a woman cursed for a serious sin against a religion. Most commonly, this curse occurs when a woman fornicates with a priest from a religious temple. Now, priests who have sworn themselves to a life of purity and celibacy that have a sexual relationship get a much worse punishment from their deity. Instances of the headless mule have also originated from women who have committed a severe blasphemy or infanticide, so killed their children or their babies. The affliction is divine in origin, a punishment for violating sacred law. The accused soul appears one night a week, always within a few miles of the temple where the offence took place. The headless mule gallops the roads, the fields and hills until dawn, making an awful racket, and then attacking anyone it comes across. Should some brave individual manage to remove the curse, which means you have to get on it and ride it and place a sacred holy symbol around its neck, the headless mule reverts to the woman she was before. Now, the headless mule hooves are shod in silver, which means they spark into flames as it gallops faster and faster. As the headless mule nears anything, fire spurts from its neck cavity, momentarily taking on the form of a flaming mule head and burning creatures nearby it. Common traits for the headless mule is that they give off bright illumination, and the hoof falls, the sound from them are completely frightening. Because the headless mule has no head, no eyes, no ears or nose, it uses a supernatural blind sight to detect anything around it. It is immune to fire, obviously, being frightened, being charmed, psychic attacks. The headless mule is tough. The headless mule can understand common and infernal languages, but it cannot speak. So that is the headless mule from Esper's Emporium of Esoterica, and I hope that you found this useful and interesting. I want to thank you for watching and listening. I want to thank all of my subscribers, but my patrons in particular, and specifically Esper the Bard, who provided me with the artwork and the approval to cover this particular monster. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Esper. So hopefully this was useful to you, and if it was, awesome. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, that is the headless mule, and a strange creature, kind of like the nightmare actually, but part of the arrangement that I have is that I share. Now this is not a sponsored, so I don't get sponsored, I don't get paid as such. Esper does support me in doing it, but yeah, it's not like this is a paid video, for those of you who are wondering. It doesn't quite work that way. He did want me to at least show you the entry in his book on the headless mule, so that's what I will do. So I'll give you a quick look at it and go over it very briefly, and then we'll get into the monster creation for today. Okay, so this is what we have. Here is the headless mule. Most of the lore behind the headless mule I have not altered or changed. I did enter in a line of information that you won't find in the book, mainly because the Headless Mule made me a little worried that people might consider this targeting women. And I also realized that when I looked at it, actually what it was sort of indicating was that this was just one affliction or curse that deities might inflict on somebody who did something they didn't like. This was just the one that was leveled at the women. The men's one is something else. But anyway, that's sort of beside the point. This is all fantasy. It's not real. Okay. So this creature is large. It's a fiend. It's chaotic evil. It's got an armor class of 16. It's got 123 hit points, and its challenge rating is 7. Okay. Its speed is 50 feet, just like any sort of horse, or, anything with 2 legs. It's sort of like it's equestrian. Okay. It's quite strong. It's fairly quick. It's not that bright or wise, but it's got a lot of charisma. And it's got athletics as a skill that it's trained in, and it's immune to certain things. I already kind of covered that. The basic features that you really want to notice, and I have described these more narratively than mechanically, is Cursed Soul, which is quite detailed, and the Headless Horror. I've kind of gone over that just a little bit. The Hideous Hoofbeats, Illumination, and then it's got multi-attack with hooves, the flame spurt from its head, and it's got a trampling charge as well. So there's plenty to work with. I do not consider this to be a boring monster. Mechanically, it does a lot, which is good. It's always nice if we have something that can actually be used in a way that isn't just it bites and claws you or headbutts you or something like that. Often we wind up with monsters in 5e, which kind of pretty boring, really. But this is not a boring monster, not at all. Okay, that's what we needed to cover. I am just about ready to get into monster creation. Please get your dice ready. You're going to be rolling some dice today. We're going to be making some decisions. We first need to decide what type of monster we're going to be building. That is what the live chat poll is for, and I'll be keeping a track of that to see what you guys have come up with. If you haven't put your vote in yet, it's going to be kind of a little bit too late, because I'm going to be picking something like in the next couple of seconds. So whoever's here, you're really making the decisions right now. Okay, so use that power wisely. So yeah, let's get into that fairly quickly. So let's have a look and see what you've come up with. And hello, Fred Huber. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Fred is a patron and often here, and I appreciate it quite a lot. Really does help. And Oscar Gross, how are you? The Brazilian myth also can be banish if the lover, the priest, curses it 7 times before the performing mass. I was wondering where it came from. So it's a Brazilian myth. That's where it comes from. I think that's where it comes from. I think that's where he originally got the idea from. That wouldn't surprise me. There's been a few monsters, and I've kind of tried to track down, like, where did he get that idea from? And sometimes it's easy to find the origin, and sometimes it's quite difficult to find the origin. But Oscar, you've obviously spotted it. So thank you for letting me know. No, if I'd known, I would have looked more at the Brazilian myth and used that a bit more, but I was not aware. Probably because they don't call it the Headless Mule, or probably because it's written in Brazilian, and I don't read anything other than English. So, okay, we're doing land-based. So 4 votes, and we've got land-based, 75% land it is. I'm fine with that. That's all good. We've been doing land for a while. So I'm going to bring up my chat on my phone, and hopefully the chat on my phone will be able to cope with tracking things. Okay, hello, Pale Rider. How are you? Hopping in. 8 in the shower. I'll be back. Okay, no problems. You do your shower thing. I'm going to bring you across and show you what we have in terms of a document. This is the document that I work with. This is blank right now. We've got to fill it all in. What we're going to be doing is doing the monster lore, and then we'll be making a very basic, very primitive stat block. Okay, it will not be complete in any way. It will be just getting the basics of the maths together very quickly. So the first thing we need to do, since we're doing a land-based creature, is we need to determine head, legs, and limbs. So I see that Osiris is here. What I want to know is, do we want to give this thing 2 legs or 1 leg? 4 legs. So hashtag. Does the creature have 2 legs or 4 legs? Or is it going to have more? I mean, it can have more than 4 legs. That would be fine. So this is how we normally do it, as I have a table here for land-based. Now, land-based creatures, this is usually how we structure them. We roll 3 times for a quadruped, something that has more than 2 legs. If it's a bipedal creature, then it's going to have arms. We'll roll 4 times for that, but 3 times for a quadruped or something with more than 2 legs. Okay, Oscar says it should have 4 legs. 4 legs and a tail. Okay, I'm fine with that. That's all right. We can do that. So 4 legs and tail means we're going to have 3 rolls. So I can see Fred is already getting us started. Please roll. Please roll percentile dice for monster head, body, and legs. Okay. All right. So I just need to make a quick update to this. Make sure that I include that it has 4 legs. The monster has 4 legs and a tail. Just as a note, and we'll do our head first. This is the table that we'll be using over here. I'll just scroll us down. By the way, for those of you who are wondering where I got this table, this is not a complete, it is still a work in process, these tables. But these were suggested by AJ Pickett. For those of you who know AJ Pickett, great. If you don't, that's all good too. Okay, next. Moving my way down. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so the first number that was rolled is an 81. 81 for land-based. Comes out as 81 looks like it's some sort of dinosaur. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but we'll put that down as the head, and then I'll do a little bit of research to figure out what the heck it is. Without formatting, and we might not we're just going to have to go over here, I think, for a second, and just, what is this? It's bound to be, oh good lord, it's a primate. It's a funny looking primate, kind of like a possum maybe. Oh, I didn't realize. Interesting. Okay, so primate, so I'll mark as primate. It's a furry primate. Small furry primate. That's really interesting. This is one of the things, if I try to do artificial intelligence conceptual drawing with this, it's going to get confused as, for sure. My dice, like 81, rolled 81 again. You rolled 81 again. Okay, 23 and then 81. Oscar's rolled a 41. So I'm going to take your 23 and I'm going to take Oscar's 41. Okay? 23. 23 is a crab body. Oh, good lord. Copy. 23 is a crab body. The body of a crab. I kind of feel like we had that before. Yeah, it's basically a monkey. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Crab, primate, monkey. Okay, so then let's take your 41. Oh, you got a 70. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll take the 76. Thank you, Fred Huber, for rolling your dice. Oscar, let's take your 76, okay? 76. And that will be it. That's all we'll need. 76. Squirrel legs. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a weird one. Dear. An armored body and it's got squirrel legs. It's very squirrel. Oh dear. Okay, so monkey, crab, squirrel. So what we'll do is I'm going to give you another prompt, and while you're filling in that prompt and doing that stuff, I'm going to start building the AI for this. Okay. So let's go hashtag. Please roll percentile dice. Now, if you don't have percentile dice, just make up a number between 1 and 100. That's fine too. Dice for monster special ability. Special ability. You want a skunk tail? Okay, skunk tail it is. Let's skunk it up with a skunk. Okay. And a skunk tail. Right, let's go over to here. While you guys are pumping in numbers, I will create our AI art. A creature. I feel like it's a monster so much, but a creature with a monkey head, body of a crab, and squirrel legs. Okay, let's see if it can handle that. Probably not, but we'll see. Right, run time, we'll do as many as we can. We're going to do a generation in a second. Let's just see what we've got here. This is Luna 3D. This looks like it's new, so we'll give it a go. I don't know if it'll be any good, but it might. You never know. Let's try that out. I think that's right. Okay, prompt it. Generate. Is it doing anything? Okay, let's try the next one. Real Visual X. I don't know if we've had much success with that one, but we'll try it anyway. Okay, it is bringing in the queue. We'll come back to these shortly. An anime is not going to work at all. I've tried that stuff before. It's useless to me. Pixel art. I don't think that pixel art's been very good. Anime 3D. Well, let's give it. I haven't really tried it, have I? So maybe I just give it a go. Pixel art. Let's try pixel art. And then characters. No, this character sketch isn't going to work. Style Vision XL may or may not. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. Gorgeous anime is probably not going to work. It'll just want making a girl. Semi-realistic anime. No. We'll go photographic and see if we can get photographic out of this. Let's try Hydra. Sometimes that's been alright. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it just gets confused. Look, you can see right now it's getting confused. Hydra, anime, no. Extreme realism. Let's try extreme realism. I've tried that a couple of times and it's been entertaining but not really very accurate. High fantasy, we'll just put breasts on it, so that's not going to work. Stickers, pop, logo, full body character, no. Portrait won't work. Lyra might. And let's keep going down. Cinematic. I don't know that cinematic's going to work, but I don't think I've had much success with that one. Okay, Nora. It's been a little while since I've used this. So just fantasy. I've done fantasy a couple of times. Sometimes it's all right, sometimes it's not. What else? Watercolor. Don't think so. Argo's useless. So is Argo 2. 3D art has been all right from time to time. So we'll do 3D art. And I'll go 3D as well. Okay, so there's a bunch of things. We're going to come back here and see what that is. Okay, so all right, so let's go back to what we were doing, which was actually dealing with the special abilities for our monster. So there's 100 of these things that all this stuff, most of the stuff is, almost all of it, apart from the very first table, is on Patreon. For those of you who, if you wanted the tables, they're there. And there's a lot of them. I think there's like, I don't know, 13, 14, maybe more. So let's see, have a look. We've got 18, and Oscar got a 64. Aha, let's do that. So let's try 18, special abilities. Cloud of millofilament tendrils. Don't breathe microscopic particles in, or they wiggle and slice inside you. This sounds very, very horrible. 18 is a very horrible concept. Let's take 18 and stick it in here for now. Plug that in. Now, for those of you who are, if you honestly think that I'm going to be putting the AI art into a document on Patreon, it isn't going to happen. It is just conceptual drawing as far as I'm concerned. It's just conceptual stuff. Can we have a brief description? Yes, we can have a brief description. A brief description is, as I said, it has the head of a monkey or a tarsius primate, body of a crab, limbs of a squirrel. I can write down a description of the creature, if that's what you would like. The monster has a small monkey head, armored crab body with 4 furry squirrel legs and a skunk tail. There you go. There's our creature. Wacky as. Anyway, back to our rolls. We've got a 64. 64, portal. Now, I don't know that I want to do the portal thing. We've done a lot of portals recently. The creature is a dimensional traveler and moves through reality. I think the first one I prefer over the portal idea, myself. We can't have everything moving through a portal. So I'm going to probably highlight portal as like, oh, I don't know about that one. We had somebody else roll. So Oscar has... Pale Rider's also rolled, so we've got Fred Huber got Oscar's one, and Pale Rider got a 14. Created in a nightclub. I don't know about that. So that's 14. What does 14 come out as? 14. No. Oh, no, I've lost control. It's gone bizarre. Ah, out of control. All right, start again. Sorry, people. Okay, chameleon tongue. The monster has a long, sticky, elastic tongue that pulls creatures into its mouth. I love that one. That one, I feel like, is much more doable. Even that combined with the first one could be interesting. Like, not so much a cloud, but maybe tendril tongues that come out and pull creatures in. Kind of like that silly cat from Captain Marvel. What is it called? Not a flump. It's a, I don't know. I can't remember. Never mind. And you got 64. 64. We'll see what 64... 63. Sorry. 63. We'll see what 63 is. And... pustule eruption. Nah, we'll leave that alone. We won't worry about that. So I'm going to get rid of the portal thing. And I'm going to keep the other two, I think, for now. I don't want to have too much going on. We're going to do monster traits next. Well, maybe it sends out... Yeah, anyway, we'll come back to this. Well, maybe we'll come back to this. So, please roll Roll percentile dice for monster traits. So special abilities are things that has to use its action for. Its main thing that it does. It has to consciously do something. Monster traits are a little different. Monster traits are more around things that are always active. Okay, they're always turned on. We have 100 of these things. They're always in effect. It's like if it can swim, it can always swim. If it can fly, it can always fly. If it's got dark vision, it's always got dark vision. So it's something that doesn't ever go away. It doesn't have to turn it on and off. It's always there. Okay. Squirrels climbing trees, and so do some crabs, and most monkeys. It gets climbing speed. We're going to include a climbing speed. Okay, I can make a note of that. That's not a bad idea. Okay, I'm not against that idea at all. That's fine. So numbers that are coming through. Fred, Pale Rider, and Oscar, you've got some numbers. 86 is our first one. 86. Let's go with 86. 86 is supernatural awareness. It can detect a lie, illusions, magic, and other dimensions or spirits. I suppose that can fit with any monster, I guess. Does it really stand out? What's another one? 12. So let's see what 12 is. Dun, 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 dun. 12 is asexual reproduction. The creature creates new offspring by cloning and splitting. Oh, jeez. That would certainly lead into our reproductive aspect. Reproduction would be covered if we had that one guy. We've kind of done that a lot recently, I've noticed. But let's keep going. We'll see what we get. Oscar got 72. Oh, by the way, actually, that's a very good thing. I think Oscar's on the right track. Because the chat can be a bit laggy, at your end, it's not slow at my end. So, for example, whatever I'm spitting forward to you is going through very, very fast. But I am broadcasting in 4K. So when it gets to YouTube, it may not be able to spit it out to you fast enough sometimes, particularly if you've got storms going on. So it might be a good idea to label it. When you do your number, if it's around the traits or the special features, and that's the number you want it to be associated with, that's a good way of doing it. So actually, Oscar, brilliant idea. Good idea. Wonderful. Right, 28. Dig, the creature can burrow into loose soil. I actually like that. That seems, but I don't think that could be the only thing that's going on here. So I feel like we can kind of keep a few of these. Okay. All right, that's good. So let's deal with the next one. We've done monster traits. The more traits and the more things we put into our monster lore, the more things you'll find that we kind of have to settle on. Did I get 72? 72. I don't know. 72. Did I look at 28 and miss 72? I think I did. I think I missed Oscar's 72. And that was under traits. Let's see if I can find it again. I had to open a lot of files, so yeah, bear with me, people. Weaknesses, stat blocks, no. Traits, 72. Let's see if I can find 72 now. Oh, here we go. I don't think this is going to fit. 72 looks like it's going to be a bit weird. Photosynthesis. The creature uses sunlight to synthesize nutrients from carbon dioxide and water. It's probably not going to be the feature we want to use. So 72, we'll ditch. 28, we've got 33. 33, I don't know. Let's have a look. Electrify. The creature generates an electrical current through its body. An electrified creature that climbs trees. Oh, no, don't do that. Here we go. Copy. And yeah, I'll drop it in. I'm not sure I'm sold on it completely, but yeah, let's do this. Paste. We're going to highlight the reproductive thing because I'm not sure that that's the one we want to keep. We might ditch this. We'll come back to it later. Okay, so there's our traits done. Now back to where we were which is monster motivations. That's our next task. Monster motivations. Let me just put it in. I haven't typed it in up yet, so let's just give me a second. Please roll percentile dice for monster motivation. Oscar's got 48 for monster motivation. Okay, monster motivation 48, and I think Fred Huber is meaning that 70 to be monster motivation as well. 48. Here we go. Well, that was fairly quick, so we're not laggy today. Locust. The monster plagues the plants of an area, consuming everything. So this sort of suggests that this thing is, there's a lot of them, and they operate like a pest. A locust motivation. I actually kind of like the idea of having a primate crab-like creature that is a pest. It's actually not a bad idea at all. Oscar, that's a nice selection. 70. Let's see what 70 is. Plant growth. The plant monster wants to fertilize. It's not really a plant monster, so we'll leave that one alone. Motivation. Pale Rider's gone with an 8. Let's see what 8 is. I actually like the first one that we got. 8, body snatch. The monster requires new skin or body before it dies. We kind of had that not so long ago. Let's just go with Oscar's 48. I think Oscar's 48, I think that's a good motivation. It keeps it nice and simple. It's easy to integrate into this. And if we keep the asexual reproduction, the creature creates new offspring by cloning and splitting, then it probably reproduces really fast, which would be scary and funny. Anyway, let's keep going. Next one. I believe we are on Monster Origins, which is a 20-sided dice. Jaquel the Scholar. Hello. Monster Motivation. Let's go here. Please roll D20 for Monster Origin. Okay. Jaquel, I just saw your motivation 28, but I've kind of closed that option off, and I've kind of already moved on. And I think the locust idea is pretty good, so we'll stick with that for now. Hello, Derp. How are you? Derp is also a patron. Nice to have you. There's a lot of people jumping in the chat today. It's great. Keep firing in your numbers, people. I'll do my best to keep up. Okay. So you got a 9 for Monster Origin. Remember, Monster Origins only go up to 20. There's only 20 options. It's not a percentile. So Origin. There we go. People are going with Origin. You guys have clicked onto this really good. If you pick what you're trying to aim for and the number you're associating with that, it makes it much easier for me, which is great. Thank you. 9. Immortal. A being that is immortal lives too long and becomes a bitter, twisted monster. Okay, so I don't really feel like that fits this creature. I feel like the way it's sort of starting to pan out, it's not going to fit very well. But we'll put it down for now. Next, Fred Huber is in the 97, so we're a bit too big a number. That's all right. Oscar's got an 18. So what is 18, Oscar? Viral infection. Any illness from a virus results in a monster. So, this creature, is this a viral infection monster? I don't know. I suppose it could be. Let's have a look and see what Pale Rider has rolled up. And Pale Rider got a 5. Crossbreeding. Produced by mating or crossbreeding 2 different species. That kind of can fit. That would be easier. A lot of things are sort of, yeah. It's not the most interesting. Jaquel the Scholar. Bitter, not biter. Oh, bitter, but not biter. Okay, 18, 9 to 12. 12. Let's get you a 12 in. What is 12? 12 is a nightmare. An individual's nightmare takes the form of a monster. This isn't really that sort of thing. Don't think that's going to work very well. I think this thing is Not that sort of thing. Origin, you got an 8 for origin. Dirt. You got an 8 as well. Evolution. A living organism develops from an early form into a monster. So this is, I mean, when I say monster, it can be creature. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like this creature is more of a pest than it is a scary monster. Fred Herbert hasn't wanted to re-roll 1 to 20. I see. Is that what we're going to do? And okay, 14. Okay, so 14, and I think we're gonna have to stop there. Okay, science experiment. Oh no, yeah, everything's a science experiment. Let's just leave that one alone. Okay, let's have a look at these origins and remove some of the ones that I don't think need to worry about. I think we ditched the nightmare idea completely. I don't think the nightmare thing works. Let's ditch the immortal thing because it doesn't feel like it's an immortal creature. So let's ditch that one. Evolution, it could certainly be an evolution, but it would be, okay, a living organism develops from an earlier form into a new creature. We could just have an evolutionary process. And crossbreeding. Crossbreeding, I suppose it would be deliberate. It would be very deliberate. Viral infection. We might be able to tie viral infection into evolution. So let's do a little bit of this. Let's get rid of the crossbreeding idea, and let's take the viral idea and the evolution. A living organism, say ravaged by viral diseases. Diseases develops from an early form into a new creature. Let's go with that. So we've kind of combined the viral aspect and the evolutionary process, which is quite natural. And I think that's good enough. Dun dun dun. I think we've got plenty for origins. Let's get rid of origins. Next, 26, Monster Lair. So Monster Lair has got, so our Monster Lair is going to have 26 options. So please roll, oh come on, please roll D20 or roll D20 20 plus a D6 for Monster Lair. Where does this thing live? Oscar, a plant blossom every 100 years and releases the virus and creates a particular monster. Yeah, it could. Diseased crab mated with a squirrel. Yeah, I suppose it could be. It could be. All right, let's go with the lair. I'm going to grab a lozenge. You can just pick a number between 1 and 26. You don't have to roll, people, if you don't have dice. That's fine. We've still got quite a few left to go, and I need to just get a lozenge in my mouth, so just bear with me as I make a whole lot of noise. It's the glab rat. I'm going to fight my way through it. Okay. Going into winter, so my voice and my ability to breathe properly is going to get worse and worse and worse, unfortunately. It's just life for me in New Zealand. Okay, so 24 from dirt. Let's have a look. See, we have a tomb. It could be living in a tomb. I'm not sure that I'm sold on the idea of these things living in tombs. So let's go here. It's a tomb. Next one. Fred Herbert got a 14. What is 14, Fred? Come on. It's a labyrinth, a maze of complicated regular networks of passages and pathways in which it is difficult to find one's way. Again, I'm not sure I'm convinced that that's a good one either. Let's keep going. Lear 24 again. Oscar got 24 as well. Pale Rider got a 12 and a 6, which is an 18. 18 for the Lear. Mountain Peaks. Mountain Peaks. Summit of a mountain. Maybe. I feel like this is a climbing creature. It almost feels like it should be in a forest, but anyway. Lives in treetops. By 4 is close enough to, yep, 3. Number 3. Where's 3? A bridge. Okay, so this is, I think this is what we'll do. Copy. Let's ditch the tomb. Right now, I think it's pretty obvious we don't need to use that one. Let's ditch the bridge because it feels too much like a troll. Let's keep the labyrinth and the mountain peak, and let's twist it a little bit. And let's go with I wonder if we can do this. I would like to lean into the labyrinth and forest idea, but there's not a lot of tree line. There's not a huge tree line on the mountain peak. So maybe we take it off the mountain peak and we put it on the foothills. Okay, so let's go forest labyrinth, a maze of complicated irregular networks, irregular networks of pathways. Pathways in a forest on the foothills of a mountain. I don't know why it would necessarily be there, but I feel like that's kind of where we'll go. And which is difficult to find. So yeah, let's go with forest labyrinth. Let's go with that idea. The base of a mountain or ridge. Okay, so cold environment. So that's what we'll do. I think that's what we'll stick with. Sage, brush, maze, and on a mountain. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Does sagebrush, a question, does sagebrush grow high, Pale Rider, or low? That's a question I would have to ask you. I'm all for it. If we've got something that's, if sagebrush grows high enough, it would be part way up the mountain though, wouldn't it? It's probably, the sagebrush is probably on the foothills rather than quite high up the mountainside. A maze of complicated irregular networks or pathways in sagebrush on the foothills of the mountain, which it is difficult to find its way. Yes. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect. Nice one. Thank you, Fred Huber and Pale Rider. We've nailed that one down. Awesome. Let's say we have established where they live. This is the sort of lair that they would have. Now, monster reproduction is next on our list. So hashtag roll a d20 or roll a d20 plus a d4 for monster reproduction. Well, I think let's just establish we've got it. Sagebrush does grow low on foothills, because I've been on mountains myself. So that's a really good sort of idea. I think we include it and just write it up that way. Biggest sagebrush grows at a high elevation, ridge lines, and snow accommodation areas from up to. Okay, thank you, Oscar. Good to know. Reproduction. We're into reproduction next. So we've got 24 of them. 16. What do we get? I think it needs to be something sculpting. An individual creates a sculpture out of the material of its choosing. I don't think that's going to work. That's reproduction is not going to work. But we have at least got it. When the craft is finished, it comes to life and transforms into the race creature it resembles. This is really for a very unique creature, so I don't think that's going to work. This thing is clearly a pest. 6 and 4 from Pale Rider is 10. Mirror clone. The monster's reflection has a chance of growing into another creature. I don't think that's going to work either. Derp has got 21 though. What does 21 turn out to be? Tumorous. A tumor grows on the creature and eventually falls off, spawning an entirely new creature. This is very Gremlins, doesn't it? It feels like, yeah, that could work. 17. What was 17? Seed sprout. When a seed, I think the tumorous one is probably the better of the options. That's gross and probably fits this creature quite well. Tumor, not American. I'm not American. Okay, right. And Jaquel, the scholar. Yeah, we did. I do feel like we already kind of did it. I kind of ditched the cloning splitting idea. I'm actually prefer to have the tumor idea. So this here, just accredited splits of offspring. I think what we'll do is we'll ditch that. And we'll go with the tumor idea, just because it's more icky. Sometimes it's nice to have a monster with an icky reproduction process. And the tumor's pretty good. 18. What did 18 come up with? 18, sexual. The union of sperm and egg from a male and female monster that grows into a newborn. Basically, it's normal sexual reproduction. Let's go with the tumor one. Our monster reproduces by tumors, which in itself is just gruesome to think they would have these things growing on them. Hilarious. And every tumor that grows is another little reproductive thing, and it's basically a locust, the creature. Plagues the plants of an area, consuming everything. So this is a plant-eating thing. Okay, so we're not really making a full-blown scary monster today, are we? Which is kind of fun. I like that. Locust-like, yeah, we do. That's true. We have kind of done diet, and yes, diet is next on the menu. Exactly what we're dealing with here. I'll do the diet thing, but you're right. We kind of don't need to do it as such, but I'll get you to roll the dice for it anyway. And see what we come up with. I think there are some specific things. It would be funny if the only thing it would eat is... It would make no sense that it only eats caffeine. You know what I mean? Hashtag. Roll 220 D20 for monster food. Okay, all right, let's have a look. All right, so all-consuming, eating everything. We can kind of twist the locust idea and it just eating plants. We could have it eating a lot more than just plants, but I think just eating plants would be kind of fun. Bone crunching, eating animal bones, bone marrow, caffeine. Was it going to snack on caffeine and go and have a cup of coffee and cocoa beans? I don't know. Cannibal, eat its own kind. Meat, flesh, carrion. Cold cruncher, that's like snow and ice. And it probably doesn't really live that close to the snow line, really. Conductor, harvesting lightning and electricity. This is not a cyber troll, really. It's not a dark devourer. It's not going to be consuming data. Dream catcher. It's not really going to be catching dreams. Eggs. Cracking open and slurping eggs. Maybe it is. Maybe it feeds on bird eggs. I don't know. Elemental craver. A creature eats or absorbs an element such as air. Emotions, probably not. Fear muncher, no. Fey feaster, probably not. Fungal feeder. Fungus might be an interesting one to go with. Fungus and moss. It doesn't necessarily have to be vegetation. Maybe it includes fungus and moss as well as that. Herbivore. I think that's where we're kind of leaning. Nobody's rolled herbivore, I think. But that's kind of where I feel like. Maybe it just feeds on bugs and insects. Metal, memories, magic. Doesn't eat anything. That would be... we haven't had one that just didn't have any diet. Omnivore, eating a lot of different things. Plants and animal flesh. Organ feeders. Oxygen. Photosynthesis, which is the sun. Recycler. Prey devourer. Rock, eating rock. We haven't had a rock eater yet. I don't think we have, anyway. Sadist feeds on pain, small people, halflings and gnomes. Okay. All right, so let's have a look and see what you've rolled. So Oscar, diet, you've got 18. What does 18 look like? 18 is fear muncher. I think we're going to forget about the fear muncher. 31. Recycle, most feeds on recycled food. That's from Fred. 23. I think insector feeds on bugs and insects. I think we can definitely say that is a food source. I think that makes a lot of sense. So let's go back to food. And I really want to include herbivore as well. So that's that one. 23. 22, herbivore. Let's take the 22. Let's include herbivore. Because it fits so well. I think that we include both of these. These are the things that it consumes. That's its diet. It makes a lot of sense. It's basically an omnivore. 30 for diet. This is from Jaquel. What did 30 come out as? Oxygen as a food source. Well, most things need oxygen as a food source anyway to live. So it's not really extending beyond what most creatures have anyway. So we can include that. That's fine. And herbivore, omnivore. Okay. So a combination of this. I think it's essentially come out as an omnivore, Oscar, eh? That's really what's happened here. So that's fine. Let's keep it with the insects and plant material. And obviously it needs to breathe oxygen to keep it alive. Let's get rid of the diet. And let's move on to monster senses, which there are 40 of. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's why you wanted to have omnivore. Because that's what the monkey does. Eat on. That's... well, I think what we do is, since you've been very specific about what it consumes, let us add in a few things. So, lizard's not an insect, but if I go here, and small vertebrate animals, so lizards, mice, is that right? Lizards, mice, rodent, I'll be rodents, wouldn't it? Lizards, rodents, and where is it? Vertebrate animals. Okay. Let me get the census thing in here because Fred is waiting for me to punch it in and I haven't got it done. Please roll. And we're dealing with 40 options. Please roll 2 D20 for monster senses. All right, people have already... Man, we're definitely not lagging today. All right, 37 is Fred's suggestion. So let's go have a look at 37 in terms of its senses. 37. Wealth detector. The monster can sense the monetary wealth of another creature. I don't think this is going to work. I think we'll leave that one. 30. Tactile. The monster perceives by touching or physical contact features like texture, shape. Well, I think that's fine. A lot of creatures do this, so let's include it. Makes sense. What else have you got? So that was Oscar's 30. Derp has got 24. Portal sense. The monster can sense the location of. Let's skip the portal thing. Derp, if you feel like rolling again, go for it. You just made it an omnivore. Eats essentially everything. Yeah. Lost signal. Oh dear. Yeah, no, I have. It has essentially become an omnivore. Lizards, small lizards, rodents. Okay, that's fine. Let's just move this, because you're right. Let's just call it omnivore, what it is. And how are we doing? Senses 34. Undead sense. The monster can detect the necrotic or evil soul possessing a corpse. I don't think so. Feed stopped in my end. Did it? Okay. 11. Hello, Derp. What do you got here? Genetic abnormality. The monster can detect, can sense mutation, deformities, and genetic damage in other creatures. Let's put that one down. Okay. I just want to make sure I add up, just check that yeah, okay. So we've got some senses here. I've ditched a couple of them which I just don't feel like we need to include. Oh, Oscar's got 30 and he's back. Let's see if 30 is something we can utilize. Tactile. We got tactile before. I'm sure we had 30 before. Yes, we did. Yeah. We've got tactile. Do we want to make this creature blind? Is this a monkey, a blind monkey? Maybe it's got no visual senses. Everything is tactile. It would be very interesting to see how that works. I suppose that would explain why small creatures and insects and plant matter would be the things that would eat, because it would only be able to find that. You don't want to make it blind. Okay, all right. So we're going to deal with the... If you want to roll up some more, you can. Otherwise, you can just give it normal sight, or smell, or something like that, or night vision, or... We're getting very near the end of our creation process, and you'll find that the closer we get to the end of the monster lore construction, the more we're kind of locked into what sort of creature or monster it's going to be, as Fred Huber has been pointing out as we've been going. So I think I will leave that up, but we're going to do monster communication next. Hashtag. Roll 2 D20 for monster communication. Okay. Alright, so there's 40 of them. So 1 to 40, pick a number or just roll it. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, in the end, you know, at this point, it's more about what's going to fit, because our monster's getting closer and closer to being locked in. Derp has got a 24. Let's see what 24 comes out as. 24 is nuclear synthesis. The creature creates or modifies the intensity of nuclear reaction and uses the electromagnetic radiation to communicate messages. Oh my god, it's pretty complicated. I'm not against the idea though. This is land near mountains. A brush. Okay, with that, communication. Bum, bum, bum. Let's see what we've got here. That's a very unusual one. Okay, and then communication. Oscar's got a 19. What does Oscar's 19 look like? Heraldry. The creature creates and displays symbolic designs, images of weapons and armor and armoral bearings to represent information. I think it's way too advanced for this creature. I don't think it's going to fit at all. I don't get the impression that what we're dealing with is a creature that's highly intelligent and be using that kind of communication. I'd be more inclined to think that it just farts, but then I don't know. I'm kind of curious, does this creature, if we base it off this, I'm wondering, does it operate at night? Does it operate during the day? If we're dealing with a head like that, ultrasound. Communication 24. We've got 24 already. Joquel the scholar. So I've already tried 24. I've got it marked down. Ultrasound. Oscar. So that's a... Are we communicating an ultrasound? Or are we using that as a sense? Ultrasound. I guess that's the question. Sonic, ultra. I think you've seen something in these tables and you spotted it and you decided that was the one you liked the look of. Ultrasound. I can't see it. Okay, all right. Well, let's keep moving because where are we? We're about an hour in. Well, we're not at the end of this. So what I'm going to do is let's go over and have a look at the image, because we're still going to do the monster society, monster weaknesses, and then the stat block. So we've still got time for you to pump in some suggestions around the senses for this creature and monster and the communication style. I'll communicate. Clicking. Okay. All right. Now I see where you're going with this. You want to go clicking, communication style, ultrasound. Clicking. Yeah, clicker. Ultrasound clicking. We'll take that one. And nucleosynthesis, the creature creates or modifies the intensity of a nuclear reaction and uses the electromagnetic radiation to communicate messages. I actually kind of like the idea that it's so whack. I mean, your idea is not bad either. Ultrasound clicker, the monster, the creature, uses taps, clicks, and scraping noises against its body or environmental surfaces to convey information. You went communication 27? Alright, let's have a look at 27. Poetry, language, the creature's language consists entirely of rhythmic couplets. We've done that so many times. I think we'll leave it today. Okay, let's go with, I think it needs to be either one or the other. I have not decided which one I like the most, but I think ultrasound clicker or nucleosynthesis are the ones that I like the most out of all of them. Frankly, I'm leaning more towards the nucleosynthesis one rather than the ultrasound clicker myself, but that's just me. Let's go with, let's do the Monster Society while you're still here. I was going to show you the image. I should have said, let's just go have a look at the picture, but let's just get this done. Roll a d20 or roll a d20 plus a d4 for monster. This might be difficult. The society is going to be tricky to pick up. Okay, so you guys can start rolling that one. We'll get to our weaknesses last. Let's have a look at what our images have come out as, so we can see what our pictures are looking like. Okay, so we've got a bunch of different things, most of which do not look like anything like what we had asked for. So this, I don't know why it's given this thing a... It's got butterfly wings for its ears. It's got butterfly wings. Monkey head, crab body. It doesn't feel like it's got a crab body at all. And squirrel legs. It hasn't been able to figure that one out. It's kind of gone crab and monkey there. That's better, but not, I wouldn't say that's great. This thing has got glasses. This thing is a pimp. It's got a little necklace. This doesn't make any sense at all. It's cute, but this thing looks like it is a... it's clearly some sort of tourist. I don't know that this... I mean, they're cute and funny, but they're not going to do. Not at all. Let's keep going. This looks terrible. It's got the head. It's got the legs that look more like crab legs or spider legs, and the body, it's missed the body completely. The body is not right. The legs are wrong. The head is mostly all right. Okay, what else we got? Keep going. The head is right. The legs are kind of wrong. It's got crab legs, and its body is furry. Okay. This thing here, again, is whack. It doesn't quite work. Let's try again. It's trying to give it a crab body. It's got a head. Its legs are more spider-like than anything else. I feel like this is closer in many respects. I don't know what that's got with the head bit. This is wearing armor, of all things. Okay. Don't know what's going on there. That doesn't look right either. It's trying really hard to figure out how to incorporate four-legged crab-like creature, but it's struggling. Okay, let's close that. Let's try that. This looks like it's not going to work at all. This looks terrible. This is a video game. If anything, I feel like that there is closer to what we were after, but yeah, it's still a little bit of whack. What's this? Hydra? No, it's lost its perspective. Kind of lost again. It's tried though. That doesn't make sense. It hasn't really given the crab body a Yeah, it hasn't done the crab body. It's done the head, its feet. Yeah, it's still not right. This is just a monkey, isn't it? Yeah, look, it's just a monkey. That's just a monkey. That's a monkey that's got some wacky front legs and that there. So I don't know that any of those there are the... Yeah, I think that one there goes. I think this one here goes. I don't think any of them work very well. It's way beyond AI to figure out how to draw something like that, unfortunately, I think, right now. So we're just going to go back to what we were doing. Society. We're doing society. Can't resist bacon. Oh, we're back to bacon. Of course we are. So let's ditch the communication. We're dealing with society. And we've got 12 for society. Dun, dun, dun. 12. Idiocracy. It's run by the most made up of idiots. So it's society is made up of idiots. We could do that. The stupidest rule. There's a place for that, considering all it does is probably eat its food source completely away. That could work. And that was from Oscar, and then 18 from Fred Huber. What did 18 come out as? Oligarchy, a creature government formed by an individual families or individuals or family. Tribal, I suppose that could be one way of looking at it. We can probably make it work for this creature. What else have we got here? Zero society. Derp thinks that we shouldn't even bother giving it a society. Okay. Can I share the link to what I made in... Okay, so you've made a link to something? A nightmare image link? Yes, you can. So what I would suggest to you with regard to doing that, you'll find that YouTube doesn't like to share links, but I'll give you a link to my Discord just in case if you try to plop it in and it won't let you do that. I'll go to Discord and drop in the link to my Discord so that you can share the image so that I can at least put it up on the screen. How's that sound? If you come up with a better image, all good. Invite people. And I need to change this screen for a second. Just give me a second. You get my face. We'll go back in a second. So try putting up the link. I don't know if it's going to let you do that, but if you put it into Discord, we describe Congress. Ah dear. So there's my Discord link. You can put it into there. There should be in there a place where you can share stuff. Where's the best place? Probably under homebrew or under, I don't know, yeah, probably under the homebrew channel or the art channel. Often the monsters that people come up with AI wind up being dropped into those locations. So if you can't get into the live chat, that's the best, probably the best place to go. Okay. Oh, looks like it's going into general. Here we go. Somebody has just joined us. Let me keep going back. Let's keep going with the society aspect of things. And I'll come back and show you once it shows up. Okay, let's do this. We've got to do weaknesses. We're running quite fast today, which is great. It's always nice when we kind of get a head start. So I want to deal with weaknesses. I'm not too sure which one of these we want to go with. I almost feel like tribal has the strongest pull for me. But yeah, you're going to go under homebrew. That's fine. You're going to put under homebrew. There it is. Let's have a look and see what you got here. Oh, you got a couple. Okay, so 1, 2. All right, so let's show people the first one. I don't know if this is going to make it bigger or smaller. Okay, so this is the first one you've got to come up with. So it kind of works. I don't know that I feel like it's got the crab body, but it's definitely got the right type of legs, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that's that one. And then you've got this one here, which I think is probably closer to what we were after. Let's go here. And that is kind of got a more of a shell-like body to it. It's got its legs, its head. I don't know what the heck's standing on top of it. It's got a tail, which is a skunk tail. So that's probably closer to what we were after. So maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one that's a better representation of it. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's just fire in some signals here. And let's go back to our monster weaknesses. So we've got 100 monster weaknesses. We've got a lot of monster weaknesses, people. Hashtag roll percentile dice for monster weakness. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. So, start rolling those dice. I'm going to drink some water. While you are rolling dice and or deciding what number you want to pick out of 1 to 100, 66, okay, no, you've already started. We are moving fast today. Cool. Name dropper. The monster claims to know all the famous people in the world. Probably not what it's going to wind up doing. 66 is probably not going to work. Derp has got a 12, though. What is 12? 12. Clumsy. The monster is not agile or coordinated in its movements. Really? Is this a monster that's really not agile, but it can climb up a tree? I feel like that doesn't work. I mean, I'll put it down, but it's not my first choice. Next, we want to go with, where is it? Weaknesses. Let's get rid of society. Clumsy. 6. Fred Huber's got a 6 this time. Asthma. The monster has difficulty breathing in all environments. Now, we could actually make it specific environments. I kind of like the idea of making it difficult for it to breathe in certain environments. That would be quite entertaining, actually, now that I think about it. I could see that. And then you just got 6.6, really? Oh, as in 66. What is 66? Ah, yeah, you got 3 6s. Oh, weakness, 29. Oscars, 29. What have you got for 29? 29 is feeble body. The creature is vulnerable to poison and necrosis and is more susceptible to disease. I like that idea a lot. Something that reproduces fast. It's tumor, but is susceptible to poison and poisons and so forth. The problem is that if it's eating plant animals, it's probably going to die off fairly quickly, so that may be not going to work either. Asthma. Okay, what else have we got here? Derp. You put 14 instead of 12. Oh, did I? 14 instead of 12. Oh, did I? Did I put 14 instead of 12? 14. Oh. 14. Life force detection. Did I put 14 instead of 12? Clumsy. I thought it was supposed to be 12. I thought you got a 12. Weakness was 12. 12 is hearing. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry, people. 14 instead of 12. 14 instead of 12. Clumsy. Oh, 12. Ah. Canine phobic. The creature is scared of dogs. That's what you're talking about. Oh, now I see. Now, so this isn't supposed to be here. Okay. I got a little lost. I'm back on track, Derp. Thank you for that. Jeez. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So I think we're going to make this a herd creature or a pack creature. Oligarchy, I think we're going to make this more of a pack creature because tribal, it's not going to work. It's kind of more. So let's go with a pack creature. It's more tribal pack. A creature. That forms groups around a specific family. Kind of like the meerkat. I think that's the easiest way to do tribal into that. So let's go pack. Okay. And then in terms of it being an idiot, I'm not sure that I like the idea of going idiot as a creature. There's too many problems with this being an idiot-like creature, being really, really dumb. I'm going to just highlight this for now and decide about what do I do with it later. In terms of canine phobic, I actually like that. I think that's probably the one that stands out the most for me. Asthma. I'm not too sure what to do with that. Anyway, we've got the basics. Ultrasound clicker and neurosynthesis. I almost feel like there must be a way of sort of doing this. I just haven't decided which one. It could go either way for me in terms of how that works. So yeah, that's where my head is at with that. Forms huge groups. Okay, fair enough. Huge groups because it's like a plague, isn't it? Pack that forms huge groups around a specific family. Okay, cool. Let's deal with the next thing on our radar, which is turn this off. And we don't really need the pictures because the pictures really didn't help us that much. We can turn off that. And now we need to decide on like how big a challenge rating do we make this? Make it size gargantuan. I don't think we should make it that big. Huge groups, yes, but I don't think it needs to be a huge creature. I think it could be smaller. Do you know what I mean? Could be small, could be tiny, could be medium size, something like that. What is the challenge rating for the monster? Okay, I would keep the number fairly challenge rating quite small. I wouldn't get too carried away. I wouldn't make it too big. And I'll work through how I would go about doing the basic maths for this. We won't have time to do everything. We also need to come up with a name for the damn thing too, which we haven't done yet, which is a little bit of a problem. But I think the name, I'll deal with the name later. It just gets you a number so I can start the mathematics side of things. I think that's probably the smartest way. Challenge rating 66 is just way too much. Challenge rating 6 I can see, but 66 there isn't a challenge rating 66. It only goes up to 30. Look, the only reason I'm using a monster stat block for D&D 5e is because that's the system I know the most. You reckon a challenge rating of a quarter or a half? No, forget about the name. That name there is only a placeholder. We made a monster like that before. Forget about that monster name. It's not that. It's not going to be that. Okay, let me just get rid of that name. That's going to distract you. Take it away. Okay, the name is not developed yet. The lumbering devourer. So an 8th or a challenge rating 1. Okay, so I've always found that challenge rating 1/8 is not that interesting, but we haven't done a lot of really low level challenge rating monsters. And this isn't necessarily the sort of monster that's going to give you a lot of grief. Like, considering what it does and how it works in terms of its traits, its climb, supernatural awareness, doesn't really, I don't know that supernatural awareness is necessarily the thing we're going to do with this. The digging, the electrifying body, I don't know, we'll see. The special ability, chameleon tongue. I like the chameleon tongue and I like the tendril stuff. I want to kind of combine that in some way. But yeah, this isn't really a thing that's gonna cause you that much trouble. So let's go with challenge rating 1/8. Why not? We haven't done one before. So challenge rating 1/8. And chuck in your names. Hashtag. What is the creature's, what is the creature called? Don't say Bob. Shocking tongue that grapples. Yeah, potentially that would be kind of fun. Okay, so let's go with 1/8. 1/8. Okay, so you guys are coming up with names. I'm doing the maths. Right, so our proficiency bonus for a 1/8 is +2, so that's all fine. Don't have to worry about that. I'm looking at the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D 5e, for those of you who don't know. I'm looking at this book. There's a table in here, and I would suggest not completely following it, but it's a good gauge for the mathematics of it. Do not look at all the pages that give you guidance on how to do stuff. That one table on page 274 is the most you should bother. Don't waste your time with anything else, because it's not going to help you. Okay, the rest of it is kind of silly. So it's listed as having an armor class of 13. So let's give it an armor class of 13. Now we can go armor class 13, or we could go armor class 12, or even armor class 14. But I would never move the armor class by more than 1 point if you want to keep it within the challenge rating you've selected in the first place. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. Plague. The name is Steve. Okay, so we'll go with 13 for now and see what the numbers work out as. Our hit points should probably range between 7 and 35. Okay, 7 and 35. 35 being at the top end for maximum hit points. 7 being at the low end. Okay. Often this number here is more of an average. But yeah, let's keep going. It doesn't have a flying or hovering speed, but it does have a climb speed. So we put in climb here. And we get rid of the hover nonsense. And we just, yeah. Let's give it a climb. Since it's supposed to climb pretty quick, let's give it a climb speed of about 20 and a ground speed of about 30. It moves pretty quick along the ground, but it's pretty fast still climbing. So that's that. And then the great purple space gerbil. You want to call it a gerbil, eh? Terra Brucix tumorous plague. Oh my gosh. Hello, Pearsham. How are you doing? Jean. How you doing? Let's keep going through our maths and get this done. Right now, attack bonus. For a challenge rating 1/8, almost immediately we're not dealing with a monster that's really supposed to be a challenge for your players when you go below that. So you'd have to use a lot of these to be effective if you're going to use them to attack. There's no way I would give a thing like this multi-attack. So I wouldn't even bother considering multi-attack. So take that out. Something like a bite is probably more appropriate. But we've also got to do something else with it. So yeah, let's come back to this because we've got the tongue, don't we? Bite, tongue. So I might just do this. Let's just take this here, copy that, paste that, bite, claw, tongue. The tongue is the thing that needs to be doing the most interesting things. And tongue, copy, tongue. Okay, all right. Let's just to give us a basic structure to this. Next, how much should be the attack bonus for a monster like this? 2 hooves. What's up, Fred? How you doing? I would suggest to you, when you see the 1/8 and it says it should have an attack bonus of +3, you're most guaranteed this thing is never going to hit its target. Even for a level 1 character, it's almost never going to hit its target. And that's kind of done deliberately, but it's no fun. I've always found that challenge rating creatures that have such a low attack bonus, they don't do a lot of damage anyway. You know, the amount of damage they do is very insignificant. They're just, you know, trimming off 1 or 2 hit points as it is. So it's actually smarter not to get too silly with this. I would suggest try to keep the attack bonus more on par with what you would expect a level 1 character to be. Now, a challenge rating 1 is still a +3. I would actually push that up a little bit higher. This is one of the problems of low level monsters, is they never hit the target. You know, you would have to roll very high, okay, to be able to actually hit the target. Because most characters are going to have a pretty decent armor class. You're looking at a 14 or a 15. So you're not going to miss, you're going to miss most of the time. So think in terms of a level 1 character facing this monster. I've said this before. They're normally going to have a proficiency bonus of 2. So take 2 as our first starting point. Then their main attack, whatever it might be, is probably going to have at least a +3 to it for their ability modifier. It's going to be a +3. They're going to have a 16 and something, right? So go with that and just aim for 5. Just go with a 5 to hit. Okay? So that they have a reasonable chance of hitting their target. In terms of this, we're going to make our tongue and give it some reach. I think we should give it a reach of 15 feet, which would be hilarious. It's bite and claws, no, but yeah. Don't worry about the damage output here, because damage output for a creature like this is going to be pretty slim. Most, you know, challenge rating 1/8, your damage output is going to be 2 or 3. That's really all you're looking at. This is what we would be aiming for. I'm just going to highlight these here, 2 and 3. That's the average damage for a 1/8 challenge rating. I think you're probably better to aim higher rather than lower and aim more for 3 rather than 2. And that's provided they actually hit their target. So there's a good chance they won't hit their target quite a lot. So let's have a look at how this is going to work. These numbers here won't make any sense right now, so just leave them alone. Damage output per round is 2 or 3. We're not giving them multi-attack. You make a decision about what you want to do. And you're going to have claws, piercing damage for a bite, claws, piercing. Let's make it slashing. All right, let's go back a little bit. Let's get rid of the hive mind ability. I don't think we need to have a hive mind for this creature. And now 1/8 damage per round, 2 to 3. Now DCs. If we had a DC of any kind, our DC should be really sitting at about a 13 for level 1 character. Now I'll explain again why I say a DC 13. if your character's starting out at level 1, their DC when they do anything is probably 8 plus their proficiency bonus, which is 10. And then usually we're looking at their best ability modifier, their best ability score in the modifier, which is going to be a +3, which means they wind up with a DC 13 for things that they do. And your monster is not even able to keep up with that. So the chances are most of the time the players will be able to do something with their stuff that has a DC, and the players won't. It's just not going to happen. So I would suggest let's ditch this recharge thing for now. No, maybe we might come back to this. Discharge. We might come back to this, but whatever you're going to do, I would aim for a DC 13, even with a challenge rating of 1/8. Okay, otherwise you kind of... So many monsters I've seen that have a DC of 10 or 11 or 12, and it's way too low. Okay, so that's what I would suggest you do with that aspect of it. Think in terms of the characters. Now, what are we doing here? I don't think we need to make it very strong. It's a small creature. We can make it weak, or we can make it average. Its speed, I think speed is the thing that this creature is going to benefit most from. So let's just give it a speed of 16, which will give it a +3. +3. Whoops. So 3 plus your proficiency bonus is a 5. That comes out to your armor, your attack bonus. That sort of matches up. When it comes to a creature making attacks that are up close, I always believe that dexterity or strength are the numbers you aim for. It's either going to rely on strength or dexterity. It makes no sense that your fists or your natural armament on a monster or creature are not finessable. It is ridiculous that they're not finessable. A failure, I believe, in the design of monsters. It doesn't have to be that smart. We can make this just an 8 and make that a -1. Most creatures at least have some sort of wisdom going on here, so I think we give it a +12 and a +1. If you want to put in something else, you're welcome to. So Steve C, I see you saying here, DC 13 at level 1. Yes, I'm serious. Depends on the type of DC, doesn't it? Many creatures require a saving throw DC based on the con or wisdom, right? That's true. But you got to remember that how a player character is built. A lot of their DCs for magic or anything that they do are always based on their best ability score or best ability modifier. So this is why I would always suggest to you that you base your DCs for your monsters on the best ability score or best ability modifier that your monster has. Because if you don't do that, what tends to wind up happening is you just get left behind, and you never actually succeed in using those features. That's kind of a bit of a problem. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm suggesting that. It may not make sense, but yeah. Yes, correlation or resistance, right. Okay, let's have a look here. Regenerate 1d4 per round. Why do we need to give it regeneration? What about con? Can you correlate to protecting or resisting? Right. Okay. So con, I've just put 10. I just made it average. Is there a reason why we would make it better? There could be, in that it's armor plated, but we can actually put that into our armor class. We could make our armor class 14 rather than 13 and make it look more like this, and this would still be fine. Natural. Now, do I have I think I've got something here. I think it's just a lowercase, isn't it, for natural armor? Yeah, natural armor is just lowercase. Oh, I suppose I better use American spelling. Okay, natural armor. So we'll push it up 1. Yeah, we could go con. So how much con do we need to actually give it? You know, are we thinking in terms of squirrel? Are we thinking in terms of crab? Um, you know, so spider pig. I base the DC on my creatures based on the most lethal feature. Exactly. This, Steve, that's exactly where I'm going with this. Always base it off the strongest ability score that they have. And on a creature like this, it's probably going to be dexterity. Yep. Yeah, because it's got armor, so let's give it some more armor. We don't necessarily have to give it more hit points unless we really want it to stay in the fight for a long time. You want spider pig. Oh dear. Now with con, we can adjust our con all we like, but we can do all of that with the dice anyway. So con is really just for a save. I guess the thing to think about is a crab any better at resisting stuff? Is it going to be any different? If we're dealing with a giant crab, which is not that big really, if we're dealing with a giant crab, is it really any better than it was before? And I would say you could go 10, 11 with this and it would be fine. It would still sit in line with what you would expect. It's pretty, I would say it would be relatively average. But it's its armor that's going to be a little bit more improved. Its wisdom, we stay there. Charisma, obviously 14 would be silly. Okay, so we can trim that down a little bit more. We're dealing with a creature that is a beast. It is kind of cute, so maybe it has a bit of personality to it. But most animals are not that charismatic. Do you know what I mean? They are just like beasts and creatures and so forth. So I think we go with an 8 and we sit there. An 8 would be fine. And we go -1. -1. Something like that. I mean, really, you can adjust these all you like, but honestly, the big important things is proficiency bonus, armor class, how many hit points it has, okay, its attack bonus, how much damage it does per round, and its save DC for whatever special abilities it has. Those are the things you really want to focus on. Yes, it can, Steve. That's true. It's true. It can have some things separate from that. It's true. But what I'm saying is that don't put your monster on the back foot when your players have such a huge advantage. What you will find is monsters that just make attacks with just an attack bonus with biting and clawing and nothing else, or even a tongue attack. Okay, in this example, if all that ever does is that and nothing else, and it can't do anything more, the chances are that anything that revolves a saving throw will never be effective. We don't want that. We want our monsters to actually do something that's a little bit interesting. Even if it's not doing a lot of damage, okay, or doing a lot to the creature, we still need to do something that's going to be interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Let me just jump away from this for a second, and I need to collect up a lot of names because there's a bunch of names here that people have been putting forward for the monster, and I can collect them up a lot faster if I just cut and paste them out of chat. I have a question for you. Should the creature be small or medium? What size do you think it should be? I think it should be small or medium size. It could be tiny, but up to you. Hashtag. What size should creature be? Okay. And I'm going to put here tiny, small, medium. Jean says small, medium for Steve. And do we really want it to be a monstrosity, or would we prefer it to be a beast? Alignment, I don't know that it really needs to have an alignment, honestly. I'm happy to just put unaligned. I don't feel like this is necessarily an evil creature that it's built into it, that ultimately it's like going to just run around and do bad things. I feel like neutral would be perfectly fine, or unaligned. Bum bum ba. All right, let's jump over to a different screen before I run out of time, because I will, and make sure I collect up your suggested names. I haven't had a chance to do very much with its special attack, but if you look at the lore behind the monster, one of the things you'll find when you're designing your monsters is making up the mechanics for your special abilities and so forth is so much easier once you have the lore and how it operates, because you can actually build it in much easier than just starting with mechanics. What's its motivation? We've actually determined this. The monster's motivation is very, very simple, okay? It's a locust-like creature. It plagues the world, eating away plants and small animals. Things like insects, it just consumes all of those things. So it's kind of like a locust, okay? It's a pest, literally. It's what it is. Have it honed into the first character's blood and tastes like a hunter's mark or something. I'm not a fan of marking or hunter's mark myself, but I see what you're going with this, Pershum. Maybe bigger than a spider monkey. Neutral evil. Oh, so Steve, if you go into chat, I can probably get you... you probably have to go into my Discord to see what it looks like. I'll drop an invite so you can see it. It's sitting in the homebrew section on my Discord. I don't want to show it right now because I've got to collect up names. So yes, it's eating. It's a plant eater. Let's collect up some names and get some names down before we run out of time. And we're running out of time fast. Yeah, we are too. Okay, let me go. Let's have a look. Monstrosity, baby. Monstrosity. Fine, no problems. I'm all good with that. That's all right. Let's have a look. It's a crab or a furry squirrel. Yeah. So, no. Spider monkey. Spider pig. You want to call it spider pig. I don't want to call it spider pig. Very Homer Simpson, right? When you break free from the tongue, I actually think it does damage with its tongue and it can grapple you. That was what I would like to do with it. You know, the taser squirrel. You want to call it the taser squirrel? Good Lord. We really want to make sure that tongue's electrified, don't we? I get that impression that we're going to have to electrify the tongue. The taser squirrel. That's pretty whack. Let's get that one. It keeps it shocking. It's a shocking fella. Pack. You want to give it pack tactics. Why pack tactics? Because it operates in packs, right? I get that. That makes sense. Yep, I can see that. That makes sense. I understand your thoughts behind that. I'll make a note of that. Not going to get a chance to do very much with it today, though. Make it howl and call more monsters for the fight when it's below half HP. I think let's leave the game master to decide that sort of stuff. Primate tongue attack really brings it together. Yeah, I think an electrifying tongue attack is going to be fun because that will be unexpected. Give its tongue like venom. I think it's much more funny if it's electrified rather than it's poison. Crab arms like things like dark crystal. Oh, right. Yeah, what do they call the skinksies? Skixies? No, that's something else. That's a different thing. I can't remember what they're called. Let's see. Lobster, two hooves. Kind of, okay, the Sinapia? The Sinapia. What is the Sinapia? Where did you get that name from? I'm curious now. I'm marking it down though. It's a mountain goat. Nah, Turnbull? What's a Turnbull? Is this a thing or is this just a new name you've come up with? One of the things I've discovered as I go through these and see your names, sometimes you guys have picked stuff that actually exists. The Sticky Shocker. Actually, I like the Sticky Shocker. I almost feel like the word shocker is definitely a part of it. The Sticky Shocker. Does it have tentacles like a displacer beast? Or no, it has like tendrils, a tendril tongue. It's not one little thing, but it's multiple little, yeah, tendril tongue. The Terra Brickuck. Oh, okay. Let's grab that name, Oscar. I'll grab that and truck that in as well. And we've got more and more names cropping up. And then what else have you got here? The giant purple space gerbil. Well, I can take the word gerbil. The purple gerbil. I can see that. Why is it called the purple gerbil though? Are they actually purple? Purple gerbil. The dreaded shocking squirrel. Alright, let's go with just the shocking squirrel. Cool, blimey. What else have we got here? The Chonok. Oh, God. John, what is this? This name? You want to call it Steve? Well, at least it's not Bob, I guess. I'm not putting that down. Make that clear. I'm not putting Steve down. It ain't going to happen. Sure. Okay, so let's keep going. What else? Plague. We can't call it the plague. We can't call it the plague. Oh, I see. Plague. Plague. You've got to move the words around, or letters around, to try and generate a new name, haven't you? Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Tumors plague. Okay. The Terra Bruca. It's actually not too bad, Oscar. That's pretty good. I get an impression that, yeah, Terra Biruk. I actually like that name a lot. Now, the more I look at it, it does stand out. The Terra Biruk. Okay. All right. Interesting. The shocking score. You guys haven't stopped. Okay, I better grab some more names. The Harvest Gorger. Okay, all right. Harvest Gorger. Are we out of time yet? We're almost, yeah, we are definitely getting close to that. The Harvest Scourge. All right. Harvest Scourge. And what else? The Shocking Scourge. Oh, gosh. You've got a few names here, haven't you? Steve's gone. Let's get some names in here. All right. You've been Steved. Yeah, Steve is Steving me right now. I've got there's a lot of harvesting and scourge going on here. The S's are coming through. Okay. Giant purple space gerbil named Bob is from Spell. Oh, is it? Oh, right. The Harvest Scourge is not too bad. It's pretty good. I actually don't think that it's bad. It actually sort of stands out. It makes a lot of sense. Even the the Harvest Scourge could be it. Anyway, we've done as much as we can. I'm going to end the poll. End the poll. And we'll be back hopefully next week. My plan is to try and do this, but I am getting tired and I need to take a break. In about 2 weeks, I will take a break. But the intention the intention is to come back hopefully next week and do another one. If I'm not able to, okay, I will try to do something else, or the gorging blight. I'll try to do something else. But anyway, tomorrow I will be back tomorrow to do another background for D&D 5e. We're going to rebuild the Sage. I like the Sage background. I just don't like the way they have written it up. So that's what my plan is to go through and do that. It's been very entertaining. You guys, your ideas, even if I didn't get to all of them, it's been hilarious. The whole process has been quite a lot of fun. I enjoy making monsters with you, and we ain't going to stop. I just need to take maybe a little bit of a break for a little while. The Harvester's Scourge. Anyway, I'm going to get going. You're going to get going, and I will see you tomorrow if you want to hang out while I tinker with the Sage. Probably rip it to bits. I hate to say it. Anyway, thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really want to thank those of you who are patrons and subscribers who watch my stuff and support me. Subscribers really helpful. Esper the Bard really has been wonderful about supporting me around this. And I really like the idea that I can keep doing that, because I would prefer to support what he does rather than a lot of the stuff that Wizards of the Coast has been doing, just because their stuff isn't that good sometimes, frankly. And yeah, anyway, third-party publishers I still would like to support, but the idea of making our own stuff, I want you to make your own monsters, people. Make your own monsters. Start with a lore, then do your stat block. You can do it. It can be a lot of fun. Huge thank you to everybody in chat in particular. Per Sherm, Steve C, Jean. A really big, huge thank you to Fred Huber, who's a patron. Thank you for hanging out. Derp, who has been here as well. I'm going to probably miss out somebody's name. I can guarantee it. Pale Rider, obviously. Who else was there that was been in the chat? Oh, Oscar Gross, of course. Osiris, who was here for a little while. Who else was there? I think I've got them all. Derp's patron. Oh, Jaquel the Scholar. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And if I've missed your name, it was not my intention. I try to call out everybody if I can, particularly if you're taking the time to be part of this and type stuff into chat. You know, I would like to acknowledge that, because these things don't work without you. Otherwise, it's just me talking to myself. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, okay, the afternoon or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.